everyone, and welcome to a quick video tour of my new side project, a framework for building, using, and editing interactive maps for video games. First, a tiny bit about me. On Reddit, I go by the name of Sparks. I'll be leaving links for you to contact me shortly. I've been a full-stack developer for almost 20 years now. A couple of weeks ago, I was playing Octopath Traveler 2 and really enjoying it. And at some point, I started looking for guides. I was a little stuck, didn't know where to go next. And I started looking for an interactive map. And I couldn't find one because this is a new game. It was just released about a month and a half ago now, I believe, and no one has made an interactive map for it yet. So I went looking for an interactive map for the first game. I wanted to see if anything had been done there, and I found one. I found an amazing interactive map that was made for the first game many years ago by a guy on Reddit that goes by the name of Wes, and this is what it looks like. It's octopathtravelmap.com, and it's got a lot of cool features. Really enjoying it. Easy to use, lots of information. Kudos to the creators, especially kudos for formatting the data in such a nice and predictable way. It really helped me because one of the first things I did is I pulled the data from this map because I wanted to create a proof of concept. I wanted to see what an interactive map would look like with a fully populated data. So I present to you my new website. This is what it looks like. Overallmaps.com is the URL. And I'm going to go over the different features that I've been baking in for the last 3 weeks. I've been working on this for a little bit over 3 weeks now. Initially, I thought it would take me less time, but I just kept adding more and more features. Quite a perfectionist, which is not always a good thing, but hopefully you'll enjoy the fruits of my efforts. So first, I'll show you what the map can do if you're only meaning to use it, as opposed to creating a map and populating the data. And for this, I will show you the map for the first game. So like I said, I imported the data from the other map, and I always meant to ask for permission if I can use it, but I haven't gotten around to asking for permission yet. I really wanted to launch the website first and see if people like it and iron out any bugs. So for the time being, I actually password protected it out of respect for the original creators. Like I said, my main goal was just to use it as a prototype, but hopefully in the near future, I can remove the password and everyone can use the features that I've built in. So let me put in the password here. So you see the map looks very similar to the other one, but it's got a bunch of different functionalities. So you see the usual details, but you can also see that the quests and the items have been separated and are all their own separate entities. So you see there's you can click on them, you can get all the details. There's a little triple W button, which you'll find everywhere, whether it's on the marker, the quest, or the items. So when you click on that, all it does is that it opens up a Google query and it puts the name of the game and the name of the thing. So a quest, an item, or a marker. This way, if you want to find more information about how to do this quest or about the marker, then this is just a convenient buttons to get quick access to that. So for the other features, you need to be logged in, and I wanted to make it as frictionless and easy as possible to log in. So what I've done is that I'm using a passwordless login. So you just put in your email here and you'll immediately get a link to log in. And I recommend you bookmark this link because it will allow you to log in for a long, long time and you won't have to redo this every time. Although if you want, that's fine. I personally like to bookmark them or create some kind of shortcut. So I will use my shortcut. I just use it now. And now you see the login button's not here anymore. My username is in the bottom left. If you click on that, you can change your username. And if I go back to the map, we now have more features available to us. So first of all, of course, you can pan the map around. There's a bunch of keyboard shortcuts to make it easier to use the map. So the plus and minus keys will zoom the map in and out. Pressing C at any time will recenter the map. So let's take a look at one of our markers and we'll see that some things have changed now. So one of the things I did when I was looking for features to add to my interactive map is I went to the Reddit thread on the first game's map and looked for ideas in there. There actually is a thread where the maker of the first map asks for suggestions. And one of the suggestions that came up is how cool would it be if we could track the progress of markers, quests, items. Have you visited them? Do you want to visit them? Have you completed a quest? Do you own an item? So I decided to add all of these in. So there's a full featured progress tracker. I hope you like that. So for example, I can say if I've been to Noble Court, I click here, it says it's visited, and then I would like to track this quest. And I would really like to get the, let's say, the veteran's helmet. So I would like to track this as well. And now there's this little icon here that isn't visible until you log in. And this brings up the progress tracker. So we can see that in the markers, if I go down, it'll show that I visited Noble Court because I've marked it as visited. And it'll show that I'm tracking this quest. It shows that it's a side quest as opposed to a main story quest. And it shows that I'm also tracking the veteran's helm. So you might have noticed this little icon here next to each of these things that you can track. Well, if you click on that, it'll actually pan the map to the marker in question that has that quest, and it's also going to highlight it, so it's right here. So this is the progress tracker. There really isn't much more to it, but I think it should be pretty useful. And another thing I want to show you is the magic search here. Well, I call it a magic search because this search is not only super fast, but it will search through absolutely everything on the map. So every marker, every quest, every item, not just the names or the descriptions, anything that can be tied to a marker, quest, or item will be searched all at once when you use this search. So for example, if I search for the Calamity Spear, we'll see right away that it's in here, and we see that it's here. So I can say I'm now tracking this. And if I want to search for, all the different caves, I can write cave. If I want to search for forest, if I want to search for, something to do with a particular character. Sorry, wrong button. I can also do that. If we have a look at this quest here, Ariana. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Ariana again. So this is, the NPC for this quest is Ariana, and Hanit is the character that's needed for one of these solutions. So if I wanted to put Hanit in here, it's going to show all the markers related to this protagonist. I had put the name of the character, so I think it was Ariana. Then just partially typing this will also highlight all the markers. And then it also shows the number of matches. So I can remove the search here. And as I said earlier, C is to recenter the map. You can also click this button here to recenter the map. And those are all the things you can do if you're logged in and you don't want to add data, you just want to use it. Now I'm going to show you what you can do if you want to actually populate the map, make a change to the map. Even if you want to add a new game, add your own map, that's also possible. So I'm going to go back to the main screen, and this time let's have a look at Octopath Traveler 2. So this map is incomplete at the moment. I have added most of the cities, but definitely not all of them. And I haven't really added any of the quests or items. So I spent a lot of time just making the system where everyone can add the data themselves. I'm hoping to find some kind volunteers to do all of that, or at least do it partially. I think, if a couple of us decided to do, one region each, then we could actually have a fully populated map in, probably just a couple of hours. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to add markers and add data right now. So firstly, when you first log in, you're going to be a viewer. So down here, it's going to say viewer. And I've decided for the start that it's better to only let a certain number of people be editors as opposed to letting everyone edit, because if you end up having 30 people that are entering data at the same time, there might be some duplication of work. And I figure having a few volunteers will probably result in higher quality data. So for now, if you would like to explore the features for editing the map, adding markers, if you have a little time to spare, then please reach out to me on Reddit, either on the thread that I will be posting this video on, or you can send me a private message, or you can also send me an email. So all these links are in the little sidebar here, so send me an email, private message, or discuss on Reddit. And simply give me your username or email, and I will make you an editor. So once you're an editor, you can add markers, you can add quests, and you can add items. So, and you can also toggle between editor and viewer mode by either clicking the icon here, or I believe I also mapped it to the M key on the keyboard. So if you want to place a new marker, what you do is you just position your pointer anywhere on the map, and holding down the either the command key on the Mac or the control key on a Windows computer. So hold down that key, and it's going to open up a dialog box where you can start populating the marker information. And it also populates the region, and it auto-populates the region based on your proximity to other markers. So sometimes it's not always going to be accurate. So you see New Delsa, I believe that's in the Crestlands. So if I click a marker, Brightlands. So if I click a marker here, it says Brightlands. If I add a marker near here, it's going to say Totohaha. And I guess the region here is actually the Sundering Sea, so we'd have to select it manually. And then you can pick what kind of marker it is. So I'm just doing this to show you. I'm going to delete it in a moment. And Sundering Sea, yes, so I'm not sure there's an actual marker there. I just want to show you how it works. So click submit, and now you have more things that you can add. So you can write any details about the marker here. You can use these buttons here to format. You can also use these text templates. So in order to save you time, I've created some text templates, and the templates do change depending on the icon you choose. So with the zone, for example, you've got these sort of these shortcuts to adding some templates. If it was a city, then you could say useful villagers, and you can format this any way you want. And lastly, if you want to add quests or items, then you can also add those here. And as it says here, all fields are optional except for name and type. So type is either story quest or side quest name. Everything else is optional. And same thing for the items. All fields are optional except for name. So we're going to add an actual one very soon. But for now, I just wanted to show you. So you see, it's not showing anything because we didn't write anything in the text box there. So if I want to edit it, then same thing, holding on the Command or Control key, click again, and some tests. And now you see that the tooltip says some tests, and you can track it if you want. You could click this button here, but it's just going to give us something that doesn't exist because no marker is called that. And while you're in editor mode, you can reposition the marker by simply dragging it around. And you'll notice that if I reload the page now, it has, well, first of all, it alerts you and everyone that a new marker has been added, and it has changed the position of the marker. So anytime you make any change, it is immediately persisted to the backend database and immediately available for everyone. So in this case, we don't want a marker here, so we're going to delete it. So again, you hold Command to edit the marker, and then we can just delete it. There's a little confirmation, and now it's gone. So now let's make some actual real changes, and we're almost done with the tour. So crop dale over here, I noticed that it's the wrong icon, because in the game, the icon for this one is actually that of a house. So I just changed it, I updated it, and now it is a house, and it's been updated for everyone. And we're just gonna make we're gonna add a quest. So what are we gonna do? We're going to have a look at Flame Church. We're gonna use the W button to actually see what's up with Flame Church. So I like this website here because it shows you all the quests. So let's see, side stories. So we have a side story, which is called the Pilgrim Protection. So we're gonna come back here, and we're going to edit, and we're going to go add quest. So the name is Pilgrim Protection, and then it's in Flame Church. So the character that you need to interact with, the NPC, is simply Elder, and then the solution, I'm missing the R, here you go. And then for this, you receive 3 items. So the reward would be this. So I'm going to click Add Quest. And you see that it not only added a quest, which is now trackable, but it also separated the reward and added it as items. So now that we're done, we click Update, and it now says that there's one quest, one item linked to Flame Church. And if we go in here, we'll also see that it's been added there, and it's been added here. So now if we were to click on it, go to quests, and I'm tracking this quest, and I'm tracking this, or maybe I've completed the quest, so now I own it, and I'm tracking Flame Church. So all of this is immediately updated in the progress tracker. And yeah, that's that. So, oh, last thing. So when you're adding markers, to make it even a little faster to add the marker, you can use the keyboard shortcuts 1 to 10. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you see it's just cycling through the available icons. Now, for a game that has more than 9 icons, this might not actually work well, but it's still a good shortcut. So if you want to add something quickly, you can memorize which shortcut it is on the keyboard, and then again, holding Command, click, and you see it is now pre-selected. So I believe that's all for now. This is definitely a work in progress. I will be adding more features. One thing I want to do is add a Command F, Control F, which will automatically focus the search to make that a little easier to use. And I'm all about making it as simple and easy to use for you guys. So if you have any suggestions at all on how I can make it even more convenient, please reach out to me. Please let me know. If you have any suggestions about how to make it more usable as a user, as opposed to an editor as well, please let me know. At this point, I have a pretty good framework, so adding new features is actually not that hard. So chances are, if you'd like something cool to be added, just need to ask, reach out to me, and I'll probably be able to do it pretty easily and pretty quickly. So, and it'll be my pleasure. So please don't be shy with feedback. And last but not least, there's an add game button here on the front page. So this doesn't actually work yet, although it does work if I do some of the steps manually. It's almost to the point where I can let anyone do it, but I need a little more work on that. But if you would like to add a game of your own, please reach out to me. We can do the first couple of ones together, and I'll see exactly what's needed to automate the whole process. Essentially, not many things are needed. What's needed is like a JPEG for the actual map itself with no information added, just a plain map. And then the types of markers that can be added. And possibly if you have the icons, then that can be provided. Otherwise, we can use some generic icons, just having the little markers that you see all the time on maps. We can have them different colors, and a few other things that I need, like the list of protagonists, that kind of thing. But overall, it shouldn't be hard to get this information and add new games. So that's it. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'm really looking forward to see if everyone enjoys this, if people use it, and hopefully within maybe a week, we'll have a fully usable interactive map for Octopath Traveler 2, and I can get back to playing it instead of making this website. So have a nice day, guys. Ciao, ciao.